basically they just don't give them in contaminated water. They give them very highly contaminated water, and they give them like barely any bedding. Like most of the time it would just be like food scraps, and it would work as their bedding, their litter box and their food, and most likely they don't let them out in the backyard. So they're basically like battery hens or thoroughbred race horses or puppy mills or kitten mills, except with rabbits. So that's basically it for the torture. It's not nice. So one of the second things you should know about rabbits is that if you're a beginner, they are prey animals, and they don't like any prey animal unless you teach them when they are young and the other prey animal is young not to eat each other. Please stand by. Anyway, you have to make sure that if you're gonna, like, there's no point in trying to make a dog and a rabbit be friends. That's never going to happen. But if you've watched a couple of my other videos, my cat has easily been right up next to them and has done nothing to them, because when he was only 8 weeks old, and the rabbits were a couple of years older than him, he tried chasing them, and basically they taught him a lesson, and ever since then he hasn't done anything to them. So there is a way for cats and other animals, but just not dogs. Dogs, I've seen a personal experience where a dog has been let out in my backyard and nearly killed my rabbits, and it took me like all of my strength to restrain it and take it back to its owners. And it turned out their owners were away for the day, up north, so they couldn't pick him up until late in the afternoon, and it was early morning. So basically we had this dog on the loose that I had to protect my rabbits from all in the entire day. So yeah, that's a story for another time. But yeah, they are prey animals, and they don't like getting picked up, and they do not like being patted or touched anywhere near their throat area or their neck, behind their ears that much, simply because that's where the predators bite them when they're going in for the kill, which is also why you don't put collars on rabbits, because yeah. So that's the second thing. Third thing is different rabbits require different amounts of attention. So you might have one rabbit that loves you and will follow you everywhere, and literally as soon as they see you, they'll come running up to the end of your cage or whatever you keep them in, and say hi. Not all rabbits are like that, so you have to pick one that's the right personality for you or your family or whoever you live with. So basically, you just have to make sure that they're the right personality. Like, Lightning and Whiskers are both the right personality for my family. They're both slightly different in different ways. So yeah, you can't expect every single rabbit to be the same. Some rabbits just are different and will be really shy when you go to say hi to them. So yeah, that's just number 3. You have to pick the right rabbit. Different rabbits require different things. Like, some rabbits need certain types of food. Some rabbits need extra care for their grooming, because, like, Angora rabbits especially, some rabbits need like a certain type of water bottle to drink. Some rabbits need a certain time schedule when they're let out and when they're put away in their rabbit hutch, and some need certain times where you hang out with them, and others don't need that as much. So it really depends on your rabbit. But of course, all rabbits need food, water, shelter, and a vet. The vet for like clipping their nails and things, because I know most rabbits don't like having their nails clipped. But basically clipping their nails and vet checkups and all of that. You don't, some rabbits, as I said before, you don't need to groom them, so it's not essential, but you can if you want to. You can also either let them, you can have them in a large, you can have them in a large cage inside your house, so he doesn't get attacked by predators. Yeah. No, we're gonna start with that now. And they have to be litter box trained, and they live in a cage in your house, or you have a rabbit that's in your house that's litter box trained, except it can go anywhere in your house, which for this you have to bunny proof your entire house, which means no electric cables and stuff like that. So yeah, then there's rabbits that live outside except in a rabbit hutch, and they have a litter box. Well, they don't have a litter box. And they either stay in their hutch all the time, and their hutch is really big, or their hutch is medium to small, and they get let out in the backyard. Or you have a hutch that's got a rabbit run outside, and if it has a rabbit run outside, you either let it out all the time so it can go out whenever it wants, including nighttime, or you can let it so that it can go out during the day and then put away at night, whichever one you think is best for you where you live. For us, there's nothing that can really hurt our rabbits here where we live. The cats in our area don't tend to come to our house because we have a strong cat looking after the property most of the time, and also because the rabbits are too fast to catch. I have seen other cats trying to catch them, including Monty, my cat, and they have failed. About 5 cats, and I've had to chase them away, and they were all different. So I'm pretty confident about letting them out at night. Sometimes I've been scared, but yeah. My rabbits aren't litter trained, so I don't let them inside that often. Otherwise I have to pick up their poop and stuff. So my mum does, like, when it's a storm outside and I really want to bring them inside, my mum's like, no, because they'll poop everywhere. And it's like, because rabbits do poop a lot, and there is a certain type of poop that they do eat. I'm not sure what it's called, but yeah. So some rabbits, depending on the breed, can get hotter than others, and some are built physically for living in certain regions. Like some rabbits are built, well, mostly all rabbits are built to live in cold areas, so you don't want to unless your rabbit has had a haircut or something so that its fur hasn't grown too long, because it's like an Angora or something and you need to put like a rug on it. I don't recommend doing that. I just think that you should like just cut some of the fur back. Well, if they're hot, just cut some of their fur back. But that's a natural process that can happen on its own in a couple of weeks every time it goes, like, from winter to summer. Like during spring they change their coat to a shorter, thinner coat, and then during autumn, which is obviously between summer and winter, they grow a longer, thicker coat that has undertones in it. And basically, so in the summer, you obviously do not want to put a furry puffer jacket on your rabbit. And I wouldn't recommend putting a puffer jacket on your rabbit. I'm just like, I said a puffer jacket because I can, but like a little jacket that will keep it warm, because rabbits are very good at keeping themselves warm, and so it's kind of hard for them to keep cool because it's hard for them to sweat. So what you mainly do is you just leave it alone, give it extra water and a shady spot, and it'll just wait out the heat. And obviously in the winter, you don't want to cut its coat too short, because then it'll start to get colder and weaker. And if your rabbit, for some reason, has had its fur shaved or something because it's been to the vet, and or it's been to a competition where they were required to wear a harness, so they needed to have their fur cut in those areas, then you might need to put another little jacket on just to keep it warm, because it's lost that much fur. So yeah, that's the fur part. Now, what you have to know is that some rabbits won't like harnesses, and some rabbits won't want to do tricks, and some rabbits won't want to jump over things. Like, my rabbits don't like doing tricks, and my rabbits don't, but my rabbits do like jumping things. So yeah, basically every rabbit is different, but if I had some harnesses, which currently I don't, but I used to have some harnesses and then they broke, which sucked, so yeah, I'm going to get some harnesses for them, and they're going to be the right harnesses that I personally prefer, that I know are the safest for my rabbits, and I know won't hurt them, or, well, at least won't hurt them as much as other things. So you can't really expect your rabbit to like doing something. If it doesn't like doing something, you'll have to suck it up and do other things. If your rabbit doesn't like doing anything and it's shy, well, that's its personality, and I guess you obviously made a mistake about picking what rabbit you wanted, didn't you? Because you have to pick a rabbit that you think is the happiest and brightest and most energetic if you want to do tricks or things like that. So yeah, you basically just need to do that. You can't expect too much of your rabbit. They are small creatures, and they are not massive horses or dogs or cats or sheep or anything that you can think of. They aren't massive creatures, so they can't do as much for as long as bigger creatures. So therefore you can't, like, when you've been training them for about an hour, for the rabbit, it's probably exhausted because it's been like, it's about, like, when a human runs for an hour, it's not as exhausted as a rabbit is. A rabbit has to move its legs a lot more because they're shorter and smaller, and a rabbit has to move its legs a lot more because of the way that they're built, and also because they are small in general, like out of their whole entire body, so therefore they can't really run fast. So if you run for an hour and you've finished your workout and you feel puffed, if you force a rabbit to run for an hour, the rabbit will feel like it's been 3 or 4 hours of running, and it will be exhausted. So you can't overwork your rabbit. It's just like, because there have been some stories that I've heard of on YouTube about rabbits dying because they've been forced to jump over super high things every day. Whereas I don't do that with my rabbits. I do quite low jumps and I just work my way up. And as I work my way up, once it gets too higher than they can jump and they don't want to jump, or they're exhausted and they don't want to jump anymore, then I stop and I let them rest for either a day, 2 days, or maybe just a couple of hours, depending on how exhausted they actually are. Because rabbits regen their energy really quickly, I noticed. Like, really quickly. So, that's the thing you should know. Rabbits can be litter box trained, so that's why I mentioned before that you can keep them indoors. It's better to start young though. With anything in the way of training, you should start young. But as I said before, I got a rabbit when I was 8, so I did not know that I should start training my rabbit. If I did know that, then my rabbit would probably be really good right now and jumping quite high. Yeah, because I've had them for 3 years now. But I've had Whiskers longer than Lightning. So, yeah, you can litter box train them. A question that I get asked a lot is, why do they get so scared? As I mentioned before, is that they're prey animals. So they are always on the lookout, and they even sleep with their eyes open, so that predators think that they're awake when they're actually not. They're just sleeping. So some rabbits actually even do that. So you have to just be careful about that. You can't expect like every rabbit to be liked getting patted by a ton of children if you take it to school on bring your pet to school day or whatever. But yeah, it's just not a really smart idea to do that. They as I said before, they are prey animals. You don't want to take them somewhere where they feel threatened, in this case schools, or you don't want to take them to a party or a barbecue or anything like that, because it's just gonna affect your rabbit quite a lot. So and some rabbits, and a thing that you should know is that rabbits and something smaller can't stand fireworks. So if you're going to do fireworks on Guy Fawkes or New Year's, or the celebrations that you do that include fireworks, you need to make sure that you get something that stops the rabbits from hearing things as well. Because when you hear fireworks exploding, it's pretty loud, but rabbits have 10 to 30 times better hearing than humans. So imagine how loud that is compared to what we hear. It would be really loud. So you have to at least make it so that it's as loud as what we can hear. Otherwise, it's just going to go absolutely crazy. And if it's let out in your backyard, it could get so scared that it either digs under the fence and escapes and hides for a long time, or it just sits there grunting or screaming. Another story for another day, except it wasn't to do with fireworks. But yeah, you don't really want to let fireworks off near rabbits, unless you're doing it in a different area like what we do, so that way the rabbits can't hear the fireworks. I'm not sure if there's anything else that I haven't really covered about rabbits. Their eyesight is really good, and they can hear really well, as I said before. So they can see in the dark really well, hear really well, and they can smell quite well too. And they have extra whiskers that tell them if they can fit under things, and rabbits can fit under really small things. So, and just like a cat can guess if it's too wide or too thin, so that way they can get through or not. So that's why they don't get stuck that often. So basically, rabbits like digging a lot, which is why I keep them in a rabbit run now, because they used to dig into other people's backyards and eat all of their vegetables, and then they would come back and act like they did nothing, or we would catch them in the act of digging, or we would get told by the neighbours that they had dug and they had stayed there in this neighbour's house, and that we needed to come get them now, or otherwise they would get like hurt or something. So he would have to come back and get them. But yeah, they are really good at digging. Their claws and their teeth always grow, so you need to give them things to chew on, otherwise it will grow really badly and it will hurt them way too much to get their teeth chopped, because that would hurt really badly. So you basically just want to make sure that you are giving them something to chew on, because they will start chewing on your wooden rabbit hutch to stop the teeth growing, and it will eventually ruin your rabbit hutch. So just think about that. But yeah, that's I guess some of the things you should know about rabbits before you get them. But yeah. Now I'm just gonna go give these to my cat, because my cat likes these fluffy real rabbit fur toys. Anyway, bye.